Today we're back at a theme park with our mobile clinic. Xand is preparing the Ouchmobile ready for his first patient. And Chris is ouching about in the park to answer your burning questions.
Wow, I'm impressed.
At the clinic, Xand is open for business.
Next patient, please.
First in is 9-year-old Kayla, who wants to talk about her tummy.
Why have you come to the Ouchmobile today?
I have this interesting white line going down my stomach.
What's the diagnosis, Doc?
Sounds like a case of I've got an interesting white line going down my stomach-itis.
I can't wait to see it.
Now, can we have a look?
Okay.
Oh, there it is. What's interesting about this is that the line it runs along is called the line of Blasco. The lines of Blasco are the little lines in your skin that cells march along when you're growing inside your mum. And the cells that make your skin a dark colour are called melanocytes. They make melanin. And you've got a few less of them walking along that line. I think that it's quite a special line and you should be quite pleased about it. Thank you very much for bringing your amazing line into the Ouchmobile.
You're welcome.
Away from the clinic, Chris is ouching about in the park solving your medical mysteries.
Why do you go red when you're shy?
Being shy is a bit like being attacked. And your heart rate increases and your face goes red because there's more blood going to it.
Thank you, Dr. Chris. Why do paper cuts hurt so much?
I think the reason they hurt so much is because paper just cuts that top bit of the skin where all the nerves are. So it's as painful as if you cut it with a knife. Does that explain it?
Yeah.
Back at the Ouchmobile, there's a new case in the waiting room.
Next patient, please.
And it's 11-year-old Martha with a multicoloured mystery.
So, Martha, why have you come to the Ouchmobile?
I've got a bluey-greeny eye with a smudge of brownie in it.
What's the diagnosis, Doc?
Sounds to me like a case of I've got a bluey-greeny eye with a smudge of brown in it, itis.
Yep, that's what she said.
Can you open up the eyelid on the Ouch cam? Okay. Now, that eye is just a regular blue eye, but this one has got two different colours in. So we call this mosaicism, like after a mosaic.
Yeah.
So effectively your eyes are made of different colour tiles and you've got mostly blue tiles with a few brown tiles.
How did I get it?
So everyone starts life as just one single cell, and that divides in half to become 2 cells, then 4 cells, 8 cells, until you get Martha. And somewhere early on, one of the cells makes a decision to go, you know what, I'm going to be brown eyes, not blue eyes. And those cells have stuck together and they're in your eye. Thanks very much for bringing your amazing eye to the Ouchmobile.
Thank you, Dr. Xand.
Job done for today. Clinic closed. Today we're at a theme park to solve your medical mysteries. Chris is preparing the Ouchmobile for his first patient. And Xand is out in the park to answer your burning questions.
That's amazing!
At the clinic, Chris is open for business.
Next patient, please.
First in is 9-year-old Alfie with his multicoloured mop.
So, Alfie, what brings you to the Ouchmobile today?
So I have a birthmark in the back of my head, which is light brown, when all the rest of my hair is dark brown.
What's the diagnosis, Doc?
Right, this sounds like a classic case of I have a birthmark on the back of my head, which makes some of my hair light brown, while the rest of it is dark brown itis.
Huh, easy for you to say.
Should we have a closer look? Can you open the eyelid for me? So there you are.
Yeah.
Now, can you turn around and show me
Okay.
this blondish patch? And that just looks like you've got a little spray can of light brown paint and squirted it on the back of your head.
Okay.
So, the cells that make those hairs aren't making hair pigment, and it's a thing called poliosis.
Okay.
So that bit of hair may keep getting lighter as you get older.
Okay.
Well, Alfie, thank you for bringing in your light brown patch of hair on the back of your head.
Well, thank you, Dr. Chris.
That's a real pleasure.
Away from the clinic, Xand is ouching about in the park.
Why just before we're about to vomit does our mouth start to fill with sweat?
So what's actually happening is that your mouth is kind of getting ready for you to be sick and trying to protect itself by putting a lot of saliva into your mouth at once. It's just your mouth trying to protect you because, you know, there's a bit of acid in your stomach, it doesn't taste very nice, and so you kind of get a watering mouth just before it happens.
Back at the Ouchmobile, there's a new case in the waiting room.
Next patient, please.
And it's 9-year-old Niella, whose eye needs examining.
So, Niella, what brings you to the Ouchmobile today?
I've got a spot on my eyeball.
What's the diagnosis, Doc?
Well, this sounds like a classic case of I've got a spot on my eyeball-itis.
Spot on.
So we can see the spot on your eyeball. Why don't you open our eyelid? And there you are. Now I want you to get in really close. And there we can see it, just there. It's very faint, isn't it? It's called scleral melanocytosis.
I want to know why it's there.
It's a bit like having a freckle in your eye, and it's just where the cells are making a bit more pigment, a bit more of the colour that goes in your skin.
Well, will it stay there forever?
Yeah, you will probably have that for the rest of your life, but that's okay, isn't it? I mean, I think it looks quite cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Niella, for bringing in your scleral melanocytosis for me to see.
Thank you, Dr. Chris.
Job done for today. Clinic closed. Now, did you know you have the most hairs on your head when you're about 16? This gets less as you get older, but don't worry, you've got plenty, with around 100,000 of them on your bonds. We're at a theme park to solve your medical mysteries. Xand is preparing the Ouchmobile ready for his first patient. And Chris is ouch and about in the park to answer your burning questions.
Wow, I'm impressed.
At the clinic, Xand is open for business.
Could I have the next patient, please?
First in is 8-year-old Liam, whose scalp needs some studying.
So Liam, what's brought you to the Ouchmobile?
I have a double crown. I want to know a little bit about it.
What's the diagnosis, Doc?
Sounds to me like a case of I've got a double crown and I want to know a little bit about it. Itis.
That's right.
Now tell me about these double crowns. Where are they?
Here on my head.
On the top of your head. Well, I want to get a closer look. Can you lift the eyelid for the ouch cam? That's great. So everyone has one crown at least. That's the bit at the back of your head where the hair kind of whirls in a circle. But in Liam's case, he's got two. And that is very unusual.
What is a crown?
A crown is nature's way of covering your head with hair very effectively. Your hair's also got to change direction, so the hair's got to go down at the back, down at the front, down at the sides, and the only efficient way of doing that is to swirl it round in a circle. All having a double crown means is that you're a bit special and a bit unusual. Very few people have them. I've never seen one before, so thanks very much for bringing your amazing head into the Ouchmobile.
And thank you, Dr. Xand.
Away from the clinic, Chris is ouch and about in the park.
How can we be twins but be so different?
So how are you guys different?
She's got Down syndrome and I don't.
And you don't? Okay. Xand and I come from one egg, whereas you each come from a different egg in your mum. And Down syndrome happens when the egg that made Charlotte had one extra chromosome in it. So in every egg, the chromosomes are the genes, and Charlotte's got one more chromosome than you. That means you look a little bit different, and I guess you feel a bit different, and you may act a little bit different, you may think a little bit differently. So what things do you like to do that you're good at?
Dancing.
Dancing. So like all twins, you've probably got lots of things that you like that are the same. And so the one difference is you've got an extra chromosome.
Yeah.
Back at the Ouchmobile, there's a new case in the waiting room.
Next patient, please.
And it's 10-year-old Josiah who wants Xand to check out his cheek.
So Josiah, why have you come to the Ouchmobile?
Well, I have a scar running from my eye to my mouth.
So what's the diagnosis, Doc?
Sounds like a case of I've got a scar running from my eye to my mouth, itis.
Sounds right to me.
Now, how did it happen?
Well, I grabbed something from my brother and he jumped and scratched me in my face.
Now, Josiah, can we get a closer look at this scar of yours?
Yeah.
Can you open the eyelid for the ouch cam? I'm going to zoom in here. And that's it there. Now, have you got any questions about your scar?
If I go older, would my scar get bigger?
You're already 10 years old. So your head is about 95% as big as it's ever going to be. So if you look at our heads are actually quite similar size, right? They're roughly the same size. That means that the skin on your face isn't going to change size, and so that scar is going to stay roughly the same size. What did it look like when you first got it?
It looked like this.
Oh, wow. Scars just take a long time to heal, so that'll keep healing over time. And in a few years, I bet you won't even be able to notice it. Josiah, thanks very much for bringing in your amazing scar.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Xand.
Job done for today. Clinic closed. Did you know every minute you lose about 30 to 40,000 dead skin cells off the surface of your skin? Wow. We're at a theme park to solve your medical mysteries. Chris is preparing the Ouchmobile for his first patient. And Xand is out in the park to answer your burning questions.
That's amazing!
Next patient, please.
Hello, Dr. Chris.
First in is 12-year-old Arthur, who wants his scalp seen.
So, Arthur, what has brought you to the Ouchmobile today?
I have some dry, flaky patches of skin on my scalp and over my body.
What's the diagnosis, Doc?
So this sounds like a classic case of I have some dry, flaky patches of skin around my scalp and all over my body itis.
Couldn't have put it better myself.
OK, Arthur, do you want to open up the eyelid? Now lean forward. So you've got this flaky skin there, and then you can see some of the flakes of skin are actually in your hair. So Arthur's got this really common condition called psoriasis. And psoriasis is where your body makes too many skin cells at particular points, which is why they start flaking off.
How do psoriasis come about?
So it's a little bit genetic, so you get it a bit from your mum and dad.
Yes.
But it's partly to do with your body having an increased amount of inflammation at those sites. So you get too many skin cells, which is where you have to brush them off and moisturise them.
OK.
Arthur, thank you very much for bringing in your psoriasis to see me.
I'm out and about. Let's see if anyone's got any questions for me.
Why is a verruca so infectious?
Verrucas are designed to be infectious.
That's right, Xand. Viruses want to spread and take over the world.
They get on your feet and then they kill the cells in your feet and get them to spread little bits of virus all over the floor, and then other people pick them up on their feet. They ride around in swimming pools, changing room floors, things like that. So if you've got a verruca, cover your foot when you go to the swimming pool, and if you haven't got a verruca, then make sure you don't get one by keeping your feet clean.
Chris is back at the Ouchmobile.
Next patient, please.
And next into the clinic is 9-year-old Jessica.
So, Jessica, what brings you to the Ouchmobile today?
Well, my joints are very floppy and I've got pseudoachondroplasia.
What's the diagnosis, Doc?
This sounds like a classic case of my joints are really floppy and I've got pseudoachondroplasia-itis.
Well, easy for you to say.
So let's have a look. Do you want to open the eye? I'll give you a hand. So can you show us on the Ouch cam your floppy joints? Oh, wow. OK, yeah, so they're very floppy, aren't they?
I can bend my hand back to my wrist.
Wow. So you said you've got this thing called pseudoachondroplasia. So can you show us what are the other things that go with that?
I'm shorter than all my friends.
In fact, if I stand next to you, that'll be very obvious, won't it? Because you're about half my height. And most 9-year-olds would be taller, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
OK. So pseudoachondroplasia is a medical condition that makes you short because your bones don't grow properly. And that's because there's a problem with one of the genes for this protein called collagen. Collagen's in your joints and it makes your ears, it makes all the soft, gristly bits of your body.
What makes my joints, bend back really far?
I think it's because the way the collagen is produced actually kills some of the bone cells while they would normally be growing. So all of that makes your joints more flexible. Is there anything cool about having pseudoachondroplasia?
Well, when I was younger, me and my friends liked to play hide and seek, so I could always hide in smaller places.
So you can win any game of hide and seek because you can get into the smallest place?
Yeah.
OK, so Jessica, thank you very much for coming in with your pseudoachondroplasia.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chris.
That is a real pleasure.
Job done for today. Clinic closed. Did you know you blink around 20 times every minute? That's over 10 million times a year. Wow! We're at a theme park to solve your medical mysteries. Xand is preparing the Ouchmobile for his first patient. And Chris is out in the park to answer your burning questions.
Wow, I'm impressed.
At the clinic, Xand is open for business.
Can I have the next patient, please?
Aye, aye. It's double trouble. Siblings 11-year-old Harry and 8-year-old Maya.
So Harry, Maya, why have you come to the Ouchmobile?
I've come because I've got a squint in my right eye.
And I've got a squint in my eye.
What's the diagnosis, Doc?
Sounds like a case of I've got a squint in my right eye and I've got a squint in my eye-itis.
I agree.
Can you open the eyelid and we'll see if we can see it? It's quite hard to see, but it is visible. Maya's right eye is wandering off a little bit when she looks up. It's not quite pointing in the same direction as her left eye. Now, Harry, can you make it happen?
Oh yeah, look at that.
What kind of things have you done for the squint?
I've had to do these eye exercises. I've had to have patch therapy, which is putting a patch over my eye. That's been quite annoying.
Do you guys have any questions for me?
So what's actually happening inside your eye?
The problem is that one eye isn't working as well as the other eye, and that means the brain decides to ignore the image from one eye and concentrate on the good eye, at which point it stops controlling the muscles around your eye and it begins to wander off. Well, thank you very much for bringing your amazing eyes to the Ouchmobile.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Away from the clinic, Chris is ouching about answering your burning questions.
Why do you get shorter during the day?
What do you mean? You're tallest when you wake up, and then as you walk around all day, you get shorter?
Yeah.
That's a really good question. Because between each one of your vertebrae, which is the bones in your spine, you've got a jelly-like disc. And over the course of the day, that gets squeezed and it gets shorter and shorter and shorter. Dinesh, why did you care about whether or not you were shrinking at a theme park?
Because of the height restrictions.
Oh, so you could go on the rides?
Yeah.
Can I have the next patient, please?
Back at the Ouchmobile are brothers 10-year-old William and 8-year-old Callum.
So, William, Callum, why have you come to the Ouchmobile?
Because we've got bendy fingers and we can stick our shoulder blade out.
What's the diagnosis, Doc?
Sounds like a case of we've got bendy fingers and I can stick my shoulder blade out. Itis.
Easy for you to say.
So, William, can you open up the eyelid on the ouch cam? OK, now let's have a look. So that's amazing. Both Callum and William have got what we call hypermobile joints, meaning they've got a bigger range of motion than most other people do. So, William, can we have a look at your shoulder blades? Oh, wow. So put it back and then pop him out again. So can you do the same thing, Callum?
Yes.
Have you got any questions about that for me?
Why can we do it?
The reason that you can do it is probably because you've got very stretchy collagen. And collagen is the molecule that holds your whole body together. It's your body's equivalent, really, of elastic bands. So some people are held together by, if you like, very strong elastic bands, and then you guys are held together by much more stretchy elastic bands. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
William, Callum, thanks very much for bringing your amazing bodies to the Ouchmobile.
It was great, thanks.
Job done for today. Clinic closed. Now, did you know skin is your body's largest organ? It has a surface area of roughly 2 square meters. That's about the size of a bed sheet. We're at a theme park to solve your medical mysteries. Xand is preparing the Ouchmobile ready for his first patient. And Chris is ouching about in the park to answer your burning questions.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Next patient, please.
Hello, Dr. Xand.
First into the clinic is Rosie, who's asking about her arms.
So, Rosie, why have you come to the Ouchmobile?
I've got some bumpy chicken skin on my arms and I want to know why.
Sounds like a case of I've got some bumpy chicken skin on my arms, itis. Would you mind opening the eyelid for the ouch cam? That's good.
Oh yeah, look, Rosie's arm is red and bumpy.
I've had this since I was born and I don't know really much about it.
Do you know the actual name for this condition?
Keratosis pilaris.
That's right. Now, keratosis refers to the idea of keratin, which is a protein which covers your skin. And keratin is a very tough protein, so it's what fingernails are made of, it's what rhino's horns are made of. And you can see those bits of dry skin there, all that flaky stuff, that's keratin. Now, the keratin can block pores and follicles, these little openings in your skin, and that causes bumps. It's important to say this isn't a disease or an illness. It's just a common, normal part of being a human being. Most people at some point in their life get some of it. So, Rosie, thank you very much for bringing your amazing arms to the Ouchmobile.
Thank you for having me.
Away from the clinic, Chris is ouching about in the park.
Any questions? Medical questions?
What are boogers made out of?
So do you know why your body makes boogers? It's to trap dust and insects and germs as you breathe them in, so they don't get into your lungs. So it's just a sticky mess made of protein, and everything that you inhale sticks to it.
Back at the Ouchmobile, there's a new case in the waiting room.
Next patient, please.
And it's 9-year-old Jamie with a tale about his tum.
I have got an interesting scar on my tummy.
Sounds like a case of I've got an interesting scar on my tummy-itis. Now, can we have a look?
Yeah.
So what I want you to do is lift up the eye for the ouch cam.
Jamie had an operation to take out a hernia a few years ago.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah. What is a hernia?
What a hernia really is a little bit of the stuff that's in your tummy, all inside here, your guts, poking through a hole in your wall. So it's sitting under his skin, not hanging out, but still creating a lump because it's in a space where it shouldn't be. Now that didn't cause you any problems, so you think, why do we need to do the hernia operation? The reason they do the operation is because occasionally it can get twisted. And if you twist your guts, guess what? The food can't get through, your guts get blocked up, gets very painful. So they did the hernia operation to prevent you needing an emergency operation. Jamie, thank you very much for bringing in your cool scar and your interesting hernia story.
Thank you, Dr. Xand.
Job done for today. Clinic closed. Did you know? In 5 square centimetres of skin, you have around 80 blood vessels, 2,600 sweat glands, and 4,000 or more nerve endings. Wow! We're at a theme park to solve your medical mysteries. Xand is preparing the Ouchmobile for his first patient. And Chris is out in the park to answer your burning questions.
Wow, I'm impressed.
At the clinic, Xand is open for business.
Can I have the next patient, please?
First in is 8-year-old Elliot, who's had treatment for a curious condition.
Elliot, what's brought you to the Ouchmobile today?
Well, I have yellow and rough hands, and I did have a pink tongue and big red lips.
What's the diagnosis, Doc?
Sounds to me like a case of I've got yellow and rough hands and I used to have a pink tongue and red lips-itis.
Dr. Xand, it's called Kawasaki disease.
It is called Kawasaki disease, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it is a real itis, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Kawasaki disease is a very rare disease. Only about 8 in 100,000 people get it.
Kawasaki is serious, but Elliot's recovering well after treatment.
So if you look at the palm of Elliot's hand, it looks like it's a bit grubby, but that's not actually because your hands are dirty, are they? They're clean.
Yeah.
So what Elliot's got is a thing called desquamation. And that means the cells on the surface of his skin are dying more than in other people's hands. And those cells have a chemical called keratin in, and the keratin, as the cell dies, goes yellow.
How long does it last?
Normally, it lasts a few weeks, maybe a few months. It's quite common for people to have symptoms that go on longer than the illness. But in the long term, we'd expect you to make a full recovery.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for bringing Kawasaki disease to the Ouchmobile.
Thank you.
Away from the clinic, Chris is ouching about in the park.
Why is it that some people can curl their tongue and others can't?
So, of you two, who can curl their tongue?
Both of us.
You both can, show me. We're not exactly sure of how it works, but it seems to be genetic. So you're born able to do it or not able to do it. And people who can't do it can never, ever learn to do it. So if you look at your parents, one of them will be able to, and that's where you
Dad can, but Mum can't.
Really?
Yeah.
OK, so yeah, so you both inherited it from your dad.
Thank you, Dr. Chris.
That's a pleasure.
Can I have the next patient, please?
Back at the Ouchmobile, 10-year-old Izzy's chompers need checking.
So, Izzy, why have you come to the Ouchmobile?
I've got an out-of-place tooth.
What's the diagnosis, Doc?
Sounds to me like a case of I've got an out-of-place tooth-itis.
Tooth-tastic.
Now, how long have you had the tooth out of place for?
About 2 years.
Can we have a better look at it? Can you open the eyelid on the ouch cam? Now, it's an adult tooth, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, does it bother you having the tooth be wonky?
Not really.
Do you have any questions about the tooth?
Why is it wonky in the first place?
There are all kinds of reasons why it might be wonky. But one of the reasons is that your mouth is too crowded. And if your teeth get crowded, then some of them just get pushed out of the way to kind of make room for the others.
Will it go back naturally or with braces?
It might go back naturally, and we don't know with your mouth yet because you've still got a lot of your baby teeth and you've only got a small number of adult teeth. But I think it's most likely that you'd need braces to kind of get it right back in exactly the correct position.
Yeah.
Well, Izzy, thank you very much for bringing your amazing wonky teeth to the Ouchmobile.
It's okay.
Job done for today. Clinic closed. Ouch! Now, did you know more than half of the bones in your body are found in your hands and feet? There are 27 in each hand and 26 in each foot. Wow! Sometimes things don't always heal exactly as planned, as our next patient found out. We're at a theme park to solve your medical mysteries. Xand is preparing the Ouchmobile for his first patient. And I'll also be out in the park answering your burning questions.
That's amazing!
At the clinic, Xand is open for business.
Next patient, please.
First in is 10-year-old Anna with a funny finger.
That's amazing! Seems perfectly obvious why you've come to the Ouchmobile.
That's nothing. Look at my little finger.
What's the diagnosis, Doc?
Looks to me like a case of my little finger's even more amazing than the trick I can do with my other finger's-itis.
Wow.
Tell me about your little finger, Anna.
It started when I was 5 years old. My mum told me to open the door and the door just like hit it and it cracked.
Painful.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened then?
The doctor put this straight thing on me to make it like stay straight, but it didn't work.
So Anna, I want to have a closer look at your finger. Can you open the eyelid on the ouch cam? Brilliant. Now get it as straight as you can. That's all you can do, is it?
Yeah.
So the doctor used something called a splint, and the splint is meant to hold a broken bone straight until it mends. And in your case, the splint didn't work.
It's nothing to worry about.
Does the finger work well for you, or would you prefer to have it straightened out?
It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, that's really good.
Will I have to do an operation when I grow older?
In the future, if you started to get ache in the joints, or you did a job where you needed to do something very precise with your left hand, at that point you might think about doing an operation. And it certainly is possible to straighten out that finger. Well, thank you very much for coming to the Ouchmobile.
You're welcome.
Time to get out of the Ouchmobile and into the park.
I want to see if anyone's got any questions for me. Let's go ouch and about.
Why does your belly rumble when you're hungry?
In fact, it can rumble at any time.
That when you're eating, you swallow bits of air, and when you're digesting food, it actually makes gas. And the rumbling is the bubbles bubbling up through the stuff you've eaten. And the name is boroborygmes. So the next time you're getting rumbling, you can go, oh, I've just got a bit of boroborygme going on.
Back at the Ouchmobile, the next case is in the waiting room.
Can I have the next patient, please?
It's 12-year-old Carnell with an extraordinary eye.
So Carnell, what's brought you to the Ouchmobile?
When I drink, my eye sort of wanders off.
What's the diagnosis, Doc?
Sounds to me like a case of when I drink, my eye sort of wanders off-itis.
I know what you mean.
Now tell me more about that.
It's called Marcus-Gunn syndrome.
Now that is a very, very rare syndrome indeed. So in all the things ever published about medicine, there are only 300 people reported to have had it. Can you open the eye on the ouch cam? Now, can you give us a demonstration of what happens?
I can't see it.
Now, can you try wiggling your jaw from side to side like that?
It's not easy to see, but Carnell's eyelid is twitching from side to side. That's because the bit of his brain that's making his jaw move is also telling his eyelid to move.
And does it affect your life at all?
No, not really, because not much people notice it.
As a doctor, it is very interesting to see someone with a syndrome this rare. Carnell, thank you very much for coming and showing us your amazing eye in the Ouchmobile.
It's okay, thank you, Dr. Xand.
Job done for today. Clinic closed.